Hello Year 8 and welcome along to this next lesson where we're going to continue looking at algorithms. And I've got a bit of a problem for you to start today's lesson, which involves some algorithmic thinking to try and solve. It is a bit of a tricky one, so I'm going to give you a bit of time to solve it. So here's the problem, right? So we've got two measuring jugs on a table in front of us. We've got one that holds 5 litres and we've got one that holds 3 litres. You've got the two jugs in front of you, one on the left, one on the right. What we want is to measure exactly 4 litres. Now there are no measurements on the cup. You can't say pour out half. You have to use the cups as 5 and 3 litres to try and measure out 4 litres completely. The only things you can do are fill the cups and pour out the cups. Okay, the jug, sorry. So that's the challenge, by either filling them up from a tap or filling them with each other, and which try and get 4 litres. I'm going to disappear for a minute. You can also pause the video while you try and solve this one. Okay, so hopefully you've had a bit of a crack at that. If you still need some more time and pause the video, you can do. It is a really interesting problem, but you can solve it. If you're ready for the solution in about 10 seconds, I'm going to flip over to the next slide and show you how to solve it. Three, two, one. Okay, here is the solution. Firstly, you need to fill up the 3 litre jug completely. So you fill the 3 litre one from the tap. The 3 litre jug should be poured into the 5 litre jug. So you've taken the 3 litres and you've poured it into the 5 litre jug. So you've got 3 litres worth of water in the 5 litre jug. Then you're going to pour from the tap 3 litres into the 3 litre jug. So now you've got 3 litres in the 3 litre jug and 3 litres in the 5 litre jug. Then you're going to use the 3 litre jug to fill up the 5 litre jug. Now you've already got 3 litres in there, so you're going to pour until it fills up to the top. So there's 2 more litres that can be fitted in. What that means is you've now got 5 litres in the 5 litre jug, and you've got just 1 litre left because you've just poured out 2 in the 3 litre jug. You're then going to pour away all of the 5 litre water, so you've got an empty container. Then take the 1 litre you've got left in the 3 litre jug, pour it into the 5 litre jug, fill up the 3 litre jug, add it to the 1 litre, pour it in, and you've got 3 plus 1, 4 litres. Okay, bit of a tricky one. If you got that or you got anywhere near it, well done. But that's just an example of an algorithm and how an algorithm works. If I'd have given you that set of instructions as a flowchart, you'd have had the solution straight away. You'd have gone, oh yeah, that works, makes perfect sense. But to try and think of it can be quite tricky all in one go. So that's why we need to plan our algorithms. So for example, here we've got making a cup of tea. Now we're going to have an input, a process and an output. Our output we already know is a cup of tea. Our input is what goes into making a cup of tea, which hopefully you know: kettle, mug, boiling water, milk, sugar if you have it, that might be an option, tea bags. The process are the things you're going to need to make that happen. So your kettle, you might need spoons, for example. So things that are things you're going to need, things are going to happen as well. So first you put the tea bag in, then you pour the water, then you add the milk, then you add the sugar, you take the tea bag out, all that sort of thing. Okay, You've got to think about these processes from start to finish without missing any details, just like you did with your sandwiches last week. Now, hopefully last week you used the correct symbols for your flowchart. Thank you to those who have submitted. So you've got the oblong symbol, which is the start or end. So you're going to have that at the start or the end of our process. We've got the process symbol. This is something that happens. Okay, so a process is just a step along the way. And then you've got the decision diamond. And this is where there might be two options. And the program has to make a decision based on an input, based on what the user has said. So last week we talked through the game of snakes and ladders. So you can see if you follow this, you would play snakes and ladders, and actually all you have to do is roll that dice, follow this chart. Okay, I won't go through it again. If you want to go into it, look at the previous video. What I want to focus on today is what we're going to do, which is we're going to make our own program, which is a medical program, so quite relevant at the moment. We're going to make a program that helps with medical advice. So we're going to have on screen a question for our user to answer. So you might say, what would you like to find out about? What illness would you like to find out about? And you could give them a list of illnesses, and they could type something in, and it would then tell them information about that illness. So for example, we might have things like a cold, a flu, cuts and bruises, breaking arms, breaking bones, and then we could give advice about what they want to know about. So let's say they want to find out about the flu, they type in flu, and it prints a load of advice about that. Okay, so that's the kind of thing we're going to design a medical advice program. Now, if you think, oh, I've got a really good idea, I want to do it slightly different, that's great. But what I do want to see is I want to see a plan for it. So I would like you to try and design a flowchart for your medical program. So how's it going to start? Is it going to start with an input, so like my idea where they're going to choose from a list, so it prints off the list, then there's an input, they choose from that list, and then depending on what they choose, depends on what information they get, something like that, or have you got a different idea? So you're going to try and break down the program into small steps. You're going to create an order of events to help you program your flowchart. You're going to try and use the correct symbols that you can see on screen now, and if you do all of that, then you can create an algorithm for a heads and tails game as well. So that's a bit tricky because the heads and tails game, there's a bit of random chance in there, but I won't give away that one yet. So yeah, create a flowchart for a medical program. So think about what can you do. You know that we can ask the user to input and type in something. We can show an output by printing on screen. So have a think about how your program is going to work. And you might want to build your program as a sketch first and then turn it into a flowchart. It's up to you. Okay, all the best, and I'll see you again soon.